Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Keri Newman. I am an outreach teacher for Small World Yoga. I have been teaching with Small World since the spring of 2016. I've taught at the Global Education Center, which is a free community class, and most recently I was teaching at New Horizons, which was a closed facility class. So thanks for joining me. Today we are going to just do some gentle movement, just some kind of gentle flow, and then end with Yoga Nidra. So that's going to be an active meditation, which is a reclining position. So it'll be an active guided meditation, and you'll lay down towards the end and just go through body scan and relaxation. So option for this class, I like to use blocks in almost every one of my practices, regardless of what I'm doing, if it's vinyasa, if it's restorative or anything. So I like to have blocks for every single class that I take, every practice that I take. So if you have blocks and you'd like to have them available, go ahead and get them. They won't be required for any of the shapes, but just go ahead and grab them if you like. I also always like to have a blanket, maybe even 2 blankets. So if you have a blanket handy, it might be helpful sometimes to cushion and support your knees. And then in the Nidra portion, sometimes it's nice to just cover yourself up and get comfortable with a blanket. I have a yoga bolster. I'm not really going to be using this for anything that we do in the movement portion, but if you have one and you'd like to have it available, it again also might be nice to give you some comfort and support in a reclining position for Yoga Nidra. If you don't have a yoga bolster, that's fine. You can also just grab a pillow, like just a simple bed pillow. You can just grab whatever you have handy. And I also have an eye pillow, which I really love for Yoga Nidra practice. This is an actual eye pillow. If you don't have an eye pillow but would like to use something like it, you can fill up even just like a clean sock with some beans or something with a little bit of weight. If you want to put some essential oil drops in or on it, that might be nice too. This has a lavender scent and probably has some barley, I think, inside. And this is totally optional as well. It just sometimes is really nice to give some weight to relax your eyes. So that's optional for the Nidra portion. So we will just go ahead and start right on the hands and knees. So you can come into hands and knees. This might be the first spot that you might want to use your blanket. If your knees feel a little tender, or they tend to get tender if you spend some time on the kneecaps, you can drop a blanket right here so that you can bring your knees right onto something cushy and then spread your palms out on your mat. And right away, you might want to start to move a little bit, maybe make some half circles with your hips, or come back to a child's pose and then come back forward. Just start to take some movements that feel good. You can take cat-cow. Sometimes I like to kind of make them all come together like cat-cow and take a circle and come back and take a cat-cow. So whatever feels good and nice in your body, just go ahead and start like that. Then go ahead and set your hips back. Come into child's pose, but use your arms to reach really far forward. So tent your fingers, and like you're crawling forward just with your arms though. The rest of your body can pull back as your arms pull forward. You can keep your head lifted, or you can bring the head down to the floor. Just really trying to pull forward with the fingertips as you sit back with the hips. Maybe rock a little more side to side. Come on back to tabletop position. You can keep the blanket right there if you like. We're just going to come right into a little low lunge pose. So right leg first, just go ahead and bring it there, right to the front of your mat there. And this is where I love to have blocks. I love to have blocks in lunge pose. I bring them right so that I can place my hands on the highest portion So I can start to lift up a little bit and then go ahead and lunge really far forward. You can let your knee come all the way up ahead of your right ankle. And then you can come back to a little half split. Lift up the right toes so that the toes are moving back towards your shin. And then come back forward. And then come on back. Good, come on forward. Now we're gonna lift the upper body in the low lunge, reach your arms up to the ceiling, and then right hand grabs your left wrist. Take a little side bend over towards your right side. So stretching out all into the left side. Come on back to center. Now we're gonna take a twist with the spine. So start to twist towards your right side. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Bring your right hand all the way around and back to your left hamstring. That's what that is. And then take 2 rounds of breath here. And come on back up. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. So now we're going to take a little standing balance. Bring your hands to your blocks again if you're using them, or just bring your hands down to the floor. Same. Tuck your left toes under, back behind you, and we're going to take a little standing balance. We're going to push off. Bring your left leg a little closer. And then go ahead and bring your left foot to meet your right foot, and grab hold of your ankles, so like the outsides of the ankles, maybe the thumbs are in towards the inner ankles. Bend your knees nice and deep, and then let your elbows relax out wide. Let your head hang. You can sway side to side. Now we're gonna come into lunge on the other side, low lunge. I'm gonna grab my blocks because I'd love to use them. This time your right foot is gonna step back. So the other knee is forward. You can bring your right knee right down to the mat, to the floor, or onto your blanket. Take a nice big lunge forward with your left knee, moving way far forward. And then bring it on back to half split. Again, you can pull your left toes back towards your shins. Come on back forward. Take one more big lunge forward. And then come on back to center. This time, lift your upper body. Take your low lunge, reach up. This time, left hand grabs the right wrist. And like you're pulling your right wrist across to the other side of the room, take your bend to your left, side bend. Come on back up. Inhale, reach up. And then as you exhale, we're gonna take another twist. This time, right hand comes over to the left thigh or the knee. Let your left hand wrap all the way around to find your right hamstring. And then just breathe in and out 2 times. Nice and easy. Come on back to center. Take an inhale and reach up. Just come through that low lunge. Now the hands are going to come to the floor or back down to your blocks. Tuck your right toes under if they're not already tucked in. Now we're going to come back to that standing balance. Press, lift, and then fold forward. Bend the knees again. Slide down and just grab around the ankles and just fold it. Rotate side to side. Bring your fingertips to the floor. And then you can bring your feet out about hips width distance with fingertips to the floor. I'm going to move my blocks here for a second. So just with your fingertips to the floor, take a nice healthy bend in your knees, and we're going to walk the fingertips in a half circle around the front of the mat to stretch a little more of the side body. So we're going to go to the right side first. Use your fingers and walk all the way over to the right side of your mat. Yeah, and then take a pause. Walk only as far as you feel comfortable, and try and keep your left heel on the floor, your left foot. So if the foot's starting to come up so you can twist more, see if you can leave the foot down and just go as far as the twist allows you there. Then we're gonna walk all the way through center, like a big half moon, and over to the left side. Same, walk as far as comfortable while keeping the right heel down on the floor. And then come on back through center with your fingertips, using the fingertips to support you. Take a little halfway lift. Bring your fingertips now to your shins and pull your shoulders back in together. Take your gaze forward to the front of your mat. And then fold all the way in. Relax your spine. Rest your head and your neck. You can let them hang. And from here, we're going to step back to downward facing dog. Plant the hands. Just step your feet back. Yeah, and if the blanket's still there from your knees, you can just move it or scoot it out of the way. And come right into downward facing dog. Good. Wave all the way forward. Come into plank pose, and then just lower down to the belly. Yeah, I'm going to do that again, so you can use your knees or just lower down. So from downward facing dog, I'll do that again. Knees soften a little bit. You can wave forward to plank, so you can just wave forward and have plank, and you can also drop your knees to have plank, and then lower all the way down to the belly. Hands are resting on the mat. Feet are untucked, so the tops of the feet are on the mat together. So we're going to take some Cobra, but we're really going to work on the back muscles. So the next time that you breathe in, just press lightly into your mat. So we're trying not to really press, so we're using a lot of arm strength to press up. We want to use the muscles deep in the back alongside the spine. So just a light little press and more using the back muscles to lift up. And you're not going to come up quite as high, but that doesn't matter. Feet are still connected to the floor, right? So tops of the feet are down. Look just ahead of your mat. So the gaze is long. The neck is still pretty long. You don't need to try and press your neck back. And then lower all the way down. Bend your knees. Windshield wiper from side to side with the knees. Come back to center with your feet, and then point your feet up to the ceiling so the toes are pointing up. Maybe you can feel the feet stretch as you really point, stretch the front of the ankles, and then switch it so that your heels are pressing down towards the backs of your legs. And then relax the feet and roll your ankles one direction, both directions, same time, different time. Doesn't matter. Good, lower your legs to the floor, and we're gonna come up for another Cobra. So take an inhale and lift up. Again, just noticing you're using more your back than your hands, and maybe you wanna test that, right? You wanna see how much of your hands you're using. See if you can hover your hands right off of your mat, and you can bring it right back down if you like. You can try that a couple different times, or you can just stay and hold. Tops of the feet are down, front of the body's pressing down. Take another breath in. And fold all the way down. Bend the knees again. Windshield wiper side to side. Lower your feet to the floor. So I'm going to use the arms to just press back to child's pose. Bring your knees together and make like a little seed pose. Bring your head to the floor if you can. Block is always available if you'd like to add that in, bringing the head to the floor. You can stack as many blocks as you need to create this, and then reach your arms back so that your shoulders can just rest. You can also reach behind your back, maybe grab an opposite wrist. Next time you breathe in, you can use that inhale to just lift all the way up. Bring your fingertips behind you. Just take a little stretch. Bring the torso back to neutral. So we're going to start to set up for some Nidra, some Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra will happen in Shavasana, and you can create whatever makes you feel comfortable. So like I said at the beginning of the practice, you can use a blanket. So I have this bolster here. I can just show you, you can use a bolster or maybe even just a pillow. I like to have my knees lifted when I'm in Shavasana or going to be there for a longer period of time. So I like to lift my knees and go ahead and lay back so that I've got support underneath my knees. I also love to have either my full body covered with a blanket or definitely just have my hips covered. So I feel like there's some support here. You can take another blanket if you like, or another little pillow if you have it, if you would like to support behind your neck or your head. And then, of course, if you are using an eye pillow, it's a great place to just set up, start to let the weight of the eye pillow relax the muscles around your eyes. So set yourself up for comfort. And as you lay down, you'll notice, oh, I want to shift my shoulders, or I want to shift my hips or my heels. Like, do that. Listen to the signals that your body is giving to you about how it would like to move in order to create more comfort for yourself. Take a few rounds of breath to just let your body weight sink into the ground. As much as possible, let everything get heavy. So I'm going to lead you through some guided body relaxation, and I'm going to coordinate that body relaxation with the breath. If you get kind of sidetracked or lost or felt like you weren't really following the cues or the breath, don't worry about it. You don't have to get discouraged. You can just start over. This is an active meditation. So we're staying awake. That being said, if you fall asleep, that's okay too. So letting your body sink into the floor. Draw your awareness down to the heels of your feet. And then draw your awareness to your toes, all 10 toes. Stretch your toes out really wide. So just feel the bottoms of the feet stretch and go ahead and spread your toes out really wide. And then relax your feet completely. Like from the stretch, just let your toes drop into relaxation. Maybe the feet splay out. Let your awareness come back into your heels. Let the heels be really heavy into the ground. And then I want you to start to take your inhales and your exhales just from your feet. So imagine as you breathe in, you feel the breath coming into your feet and filling up all the spaces in your feet. And then as you exhale, imagine just breathing all of the air out through your feet. So awareness down in the bottom of the body. As you breathe in, feel the feet fill up with breath. Maybe even it starts to look or feel like something like energy, or there's a color as you imagine the breath. And then exhale, imagine the feet relaxing even more every single time you breathe out. Do that a few more times, just inhaling into the feet, the toes, the heels, the soles and the tops of the feet, into the ankles. And then exhale from ankles down and out through the feet. Just keep going like that, nice and gentle. You don't need to force the breath or worry about taking these really big, gigantic breaths unless that's coming naturally. Just work with your natural breath, inhaling into feet, exhaling out of feet. The next time you breathe in, imagine breathing in from the feet and following the breath all the way up to the knees and the kneecaps. Feel the knees fill up with the breath. And then exhale from the kneecaps down the feet. So down the lower legs and out the feet. And then keep going like that with ease, gentle. Inhale from feet up to knees. Exhale from knees down to feet. Do that a few more times. The next time you breathe in into the feet, imagine that breath is moving all the way up to your hip bones, your hip space, filling up the area around the hips. And then exhaling down the entire legs and out the feet. And then keep going like that. Inhaling up through the lower part of the body from feet to hips. And then exhaling from hips to feet. Breathe in up to the hip space. Breathe out from hip space down the legs. Let the entire lower body relax. And draw your awareness to the sacrum. Right at the bottom of your spine, there's that flat bone that's probably resting into the ground beneath you right now. So the very bottom of your spine, the very back of your hips. Take another couple rounds of breath, just inhales and exhales from the sacrum. Inhale right into the sacrum space, and then exhale right out of the same space. Maybe again, you can see something visually, maybe not, doesn't matter, but maybe there's some type of visual color or feel or something that you can attach to breathing in and out of that space. Now the next time you breathe in, imagine you breathe in from the sacrum and follow that line all the way up to the backs of your shoulder blades. So right at that center line of your spine, and then exhale from the shoulder blades down the spine and out the sacrum. And just keep going like that, traveling up the line of the spine from sacrum to shoulder blades, down the line of the spine from shoulder blades down to the sacrum. Now bring the awareness to the shoulder blades. And just take some breaths here. Inhales, exhales. Breathing into the place between the shoulder blades. Maybe you can even feel that expand through into the front of the chest. And then exhaling out the space between the shoulder blades. Do that a few more times, just right in that space. Awareness into that upper portion of the back between the shoulder blades, back of the heart space. Now we'll travel that awareness down the arms as you breathe in from the shoulder blades down the arms to the tips of the fingers. And then breathe out from fingertips back up to the shoulder blades, back of the heart. And then just keep going like that. Those lines of energy traveling from the shoulder blade space down the arms to the fingertips. Exhale, back up the arms and back to the shoulder blades. Just keep going like that a few more times. If you've traveled away from the awareness of where you're breathing, you can just start again. You can just come right back. From the awareness of your shoulder blades, next time you breathe in from that space, breathe up to the very top of your head, the very crown. And then breathe out from the crown down to that back of the shoulder blade space. And do that a couple more times, just straight up the back of the head, the back of the neck, inhaling from shoulder blades up to crown, very top of the head. And exhale from crown down to the shoulder blades. Draw your awareness up to the very crown of your head, the very top. This last time we will breathe full body breath from the crown of your head down to the feet as you breathe in. And as you exhale from the feet all the way up to the top of your head. Do that one more time from the crown. Breathe in down to the feet. Breathe out back up to the crown of the head. Drop all that awareness and just come to your normal pattern of breathing. Let yourself become aware of any sounds you hear inside the room that you're in, outside the room, just taking notice of the sounds around you. Become aware of your fingers, your hands, your toes, and your feet. When you're ready, take a few little movements with your hands, your feet. waking up the body. When you're ready, take a big full body stretch. Stretch your arms back behind you, right there on your back, and stretch your legs out in front of you, and just take a big full body stretch from fingertips to toe tips, lengthening the whole body. And bring your hands to the belly and the heart. You can just lay right where you are, bringing hands to belly and heart. Take a moment to just acknowledge yourself for showing up, for getting to your mat. A moment to dedicate and share some of the benefits of your practice with someone else, a person, or maybe a pet or a place. Take a breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. With gratitude for this practice, thank you so much for showing up, for watching. Namaste. Thank you again for joining me. My name is Keri again. Be sure to check out Small World Yoga's Facebook and Instagram pages for live classes, for more recorded classes. This recording will be uploaded to Small World Yoga's YouTube channel, so you can practice this at any time, along with our whole library of classes that are on the YouTube channel. So be sure to check out our social network channels and our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a really good day. Thank you.